Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. You're probably hearing some wild rumors swirling around the NFL, and one that's catching a lot of attention lately is the possibility of Myles Garrett. Yes, the dominant pass rusher from the Cleveland Browns, making his way to Atlanta. And honestly, if you're thinking about it, it could be one of the most transformative moves for the Falcons' defense in recent memory. We all know Garrett's reputation. Imagine a player who's like a relentless predator, a shark prowling the defensive waters, attacking quarterbacks with a fury that's hard to match. He's not just a pass rusher. He's a game changer, a player who elevates the entire defensive line. Let's break down what makes this rumor so compelling. The Browns, sitting at a disappointing 3-12 record, are in a bit of a cap crunch, especially with Deshaun Watson's upcoming extension needing roughly $25 million. They have some tough choices to make, and it looks like they're exploring options to trade away Garrett. Cleveland reportedly has some leverage, an early first-round pick in the 2026 draft, and a reserve linebacker from the Falcons are being mentioned as potential compensation. This move, if it happens, would be a rebuild for Cleveland, especially considering their defensive struggles. They're currently ranked 25th in points allowed per game, allowing an average of about 25 points. That's a defense in need of a serious overhaul. But what about Atlanta? Well, adding Myles Garrett would be like unleashing a hurricane on the Falcons' defensive front. Right now, Atlanta's pass rush has been decent but not quite elite. With Garrett, they'd have a player capable of generating consistent pressure, disrupting the pocket, and forcing turnovers at an elite level. Think about it. Garrett's 2025 stats are jaw-dropping. He's currently leading the NFL in sacks with 22, and his PFF overall grade is a staggering 92.5, which ranks him first among all edge rushers. His pass rush grade is an almost perfect 95.0, and he's been a force against both the pass and run, ranking 5th in run defense with an 85.0 grade. His ability to generate pressure, 80 pressures so far this season, and his 38 QB hits make him a nightmare for any offensive line. His career numbers speak volumes, 124. 5 sacks over his time in the league with over 410 tackles, and a PFF career grade consistently above 91. He's earned 5 Pro Bowls, and most recently, he was named the Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. That's the kind of player who instantly makes a team's defense a top-tier unit. Garrett's sack rate hovers around 15%, and he's missed just a couple of games this season due to minor injuries, mainly an ankle injury in 2025. His historical sack record of 22.5 in Week 16 is a testament to his consistency and ability to perform when it matters most. From a strategic standpoint, Garrett would be a game changer for the Falcons. His presence on the field would significantly boost Atlanta's pressure rate, which is currently around 28%, but could be pushed up towards 40%. Imagine him lining up across from the offensive tackles, collapsing pockets, and creating chaos for quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts or even other mobile QBs in the NFC South. His ability to generate pressure would directly reduce the opposing team's completion percentage, projected to come down from around 68% to about 54%, and increase turnovers. We're talking about an impact similar to what the 49ers saw when they traded for Nick Bosa in 2025, adding over 12 sacks to their total and transforming their pass rush into one of the league's best. That kind of upgrade would be huge for Atlanta, especially considering their current defense ranks only 22nd in points allowed per game, with about 25 points. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Falcons have been trying to find that edge rush presence to help them compete in the playoffs. With Hodge injured and currently on IR since December 19, the Falcons' pass rush has taken a hit. Garrett could help fill that void immediately, giving the team a player who consistently produces elite sacks, 22 so far this year, leading the league, and forces turnovers with his relentless pressure, including 3 forced fumbles this season. His addition would not only elevate the defense, but also allow the Falcons to be more aggressive, especially against mobile quarterbacks who tend to escape traditional pressure schemes. His ability to apply quick pressures and sustain drives with forced turnovers could be the key to turning Atlanta into a top 10 defense, boosting their points allowed from around 25 to closer to 20 per game. And the timing couldn't be better. The Falcons, sitting at 6-9 and still in the playoff hunt, could see this move as a final push to solidify their defense. The NFC South is wide open, and with the right adjustments, Atlanta could leapfrog divisional rivals and even secure a home playoff game. Garrett's addition would give them that extra edge they need to make a deep run, especially since the team has been battling inconsistency on offense, ranking around 20th in total yards per game. Their ball control game, featuring Cousins and the run game, would complement Garrett's ferocity on defense, creating a balanced approach that's hard for opponents to handle. But perhaps the most exciting aspect is how this impacts the Super Bowl odds. Right now, the Falcons are seen as underdogs with odds around plus 10-0. If Garrett joins Atlanta, those odds could shift dramatically, possibly dropping to plus 4-0 or even lower. His presence would turn the Falcons into a legitimate threat, especially in the playoffs, where pass rush wins championships. Think back to the Browns' 2023 defensive run. Garrett was a key factor, and his sack rate was over 15% for 4 straight years, comparable to T.J. Watt's elite production. His impact on the Falcons' defense could be just as profound, elevating them to a level where they're not just playoff contenders but serious Super Bowl challengers. The trade would also set up the Falcons as a perennial powerhouse on defense, something they've been striving for in recent years. With Garrett's elite production, they could finally establish a dominant pass rush, making life miserable for opposing QBs and turning their defense into an intimidating force. It's the kind of move that could define the franchise's future, bringing stability, star power, and a winning mentality that can carry them deep into the postseason. Of course, all of this hinges on whether the Browns pull the trigger. Cleveland's motivation is clear. They're trying to free up cap space for Watson's extension and rebuild their offensive line after a series of injuries. They've already lost 4 OL players to injury, and their defense needs a serious overhaul. The fact that their odds of making the playoffs have plummeted to plus 50-0 reflects how much they're willing to shake things up. For Atlanta, absorbing Garrett's contract and cap hit, projected at a negative $4.99 million, might be possible with some roster adjustments, and the potential payoff could be huge. Now, looking ahead, if this trade happens, it would send shockwaves through the NFL landscape. Garrett's ability to generate pressure is unmatched. His sack rate alone ranks him among the best in league history. His presence on the Falcons' line would make them a nightmare for any offense. Imagine him lining up on the edge, coming hard off the snap, forcing quick throws, and creating chaos in the backfield. The Falcons' defense would transform into a destructive force, reminiscent of the dominant units we've seen in recent Super Bowl champions. And let's not forget, Garrett's impact isn't just limited to sacks. His ability to force turnovers, whether through forced fumbles or interceptions, would give Atlanta more short fields, more scoring opportunities, and ultimately help them close out games more convincingly. The combination of elite pass rush, run defense, and game-changing plays could be the missing piece that takes Atlanta from a good team to a true contender in the NFC. This move, if it materializes, could also reshape the NFC South's power dynamics. Other teams will have to respond, and the division race could become even more intense. The Falcons, with Garrett, would be a team that no one wants to face in January, especially with their improved pass rush and defensive stability. The playoffs would be a real possibility, and perhaps even a Super Bowl appearance if everything falls into place. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you believe Garrett will actually be wearing the Falcons' colors next season? How do you see him fitting into Arthur Smith's scheme? Would he instantly make Atlanta one of the top defenses in the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news.